St. John Chrysostom, when he was writing about the human heart, said a beautiful metaphor that I recall reading when I was in seminary that has stuck with me ever since. He said, when the ship is trying to set sail, if the sail of the ship is wrapped around the mast of the ship still, the wind cannot take it where it needs to go. That is a metaphor for our hearts. When our hearts are tied up around the mast, the wind that is the Holy Spirit cannot take the ship where it needs to go. When the sail is loose and free, and apolomeno, as we would say in Greek, spread out, it's when the wind then picks up the sail and picks up the ship and continues taking it where it needs to go. This is a metaphor, again, for the human heart. And I am so thrilled when I think about the heart of this community and the kind of people that we have here. And that's why I thanked all of them at the beginning and not at the end. I'm reminded of this heart of this community. And tonight's numbers, we've thrown a lot of numbers at you. We've thrown a lot of figures at you and a lot of projections and these kinds of things. And all of these things are necessary and good because they're tools to help us get to where we need to go. But at the end of the day, it is not about the numbers. It is about our faith. And this community's faith is what has spread out and is allowing the ship to take it where it needs to go. The monies that just now in the beginning, because we are just getting started. We are just getting started. Does it dawn on anyone that it's only been a couple of years that we have money in the bank for this project? These monies are simply nothing more than a testament to your faith. They are just a symptom, if you will. It is just a side effect of the faith that already exists in this community and for its future and for this project at the heart of it. That is why we are doing well. Is because of your heart and the heart of this collective community. Earlier this evening, we heard a capital campaign update. And there is one thing that actually was left to me to say. Of these 41 families that have pledged currently and are currently giving towards their pledge for this building project, amidst all of this, as Father already mentioned, when a project begins, little surprises come along the way. And people start giving because they see that things are happening. 5 of the 41 families that have pledged have also indicated to us that they have already, in writing, left the church in their estate plans. That's why we had Matt bring that up a little bit tonight as well, just preliminarily. Now, the last couple of weeks I've been teasing a little surprise announcement tonight. And so we have come to that point in the evening, again, where we are announcing another surprise. I worked very hard with this family to try to get them to not be anonymous. And I called them a few weeks ago, and they basically are very private people and do not want to be recognized, and they were adamant about that. So I will respect that, even though I wanted to recognize them, just so that it makes it a little more real for us. Of these 5 gifts that have been planned, that are arranged estate gifts towards this building project, one family last year informed us, in addition to pledging for the campaign, that they have included the church in their estate plans in the amount of $1 million. Another testament to their faith. Another testament to their faith. Now, please don't get me wrong. Knock on wood. We hope that we do not see these monies for a very long time, and all of these people still are in good health, so we're good. No, we're good. We pray for their good health with some hesitation. No, I'm just kidding. That's something our fundraiser in San Francisco told us. Forget you heard that. Anyway, all joking aside. They are a reminder, these kinds of little signs, are a reminder that God is with us. They are a reminder that we are following His will. When people respond like this, and they say, I'm going to help too, that is God moving in their heart as well as in the life of our community. 2 years ago, we threw a gala to begin our capital campaign formally and publicly. And at that time, we developed a slogan that is still on this wall and is on this icon, and that was, let us cast out our nets. And I remember even saying one Sunday, we have already cast them out, let's finish hauling them in. Because in the scriptures it says that they were not able to haul in the great quantity of fish. They caught nothing all night long. And then they weren't able to carry in all the rest of the fish into the boat, and another boat had to come and help them with the haul of fish. We have done that. We have done that. By God's grace. By God's grace. On your little magnets on the tables, and I'm so grateful to Mark Mertens for arranging them, and on your programs, you'll notice that it is the same icon that we used 2 years ago, but now with a new slogan attached to it. And that is the words that Jesus told Philip and Nathanael when he was first calling them to be his apostles. And that is, you believe because you see me? Just because I said I saw you under the fig tree, that he was clairvoyant? And Jesus told them, you shall see greater things than these. You shall see greater things than these. Just think about a Byzantine-style church with iconography and infrastructure. A place that can comfortably hold all our sacraments. A place where we can come together and worship and glorify in addition to what we're doing now. Fully sufficient facilities for Sunday school, dance, and our sports. And I know I just made a lot of people happy. Mainly, I'm sure, Zoe Xanax, Marino, all our dance families who know this firsthand and see it during the week that we are exploding out of this church, again, by God's grace. But again, at the end of the day, it's not about even our needs. Because we can make do wherever we are. It's not about the needs only of our community now, or even 20 or 30 years down the road. It is about continuing the movement in 2019 AD that was begun in 33 AD. It is continuing the movement that began with the resurrection, the good news of Jesus Christ. That all of the apostles and so many of their followers gave their lives for and shed their blood for. It is up to us to continue their work. We are all apostles in this room. People say, and I've often heard that people give to causes. My response to that is, when did Christianity cease being a cause? It still is a cause. It still is a movement. We are the ones who forget that that is true sometimes. Now, amidst all of this, you might be saying, well, this is all wonderful and fine and good. And the reason I am so excited tonight, and in this community, in general I'm excited, is because this continues to validate the faith that I see that you have. And I know what this community, I feel in my heart, I know what this community is capable of. I have not stopped saying since the day that I got here that we can do anything that we aspire to. Because I believe in us. And I believe in our ability. And I believe in our faith. But at the same time, I know that we are human beings. And I know that we have a certain track record. Or the one that existed perhaps in the 80s or 90s or 2000s or maybe before. Who knows? And there are certain questions that come up. And I am absolutely sympathetic of those. There are certain questions like if we were to liken us to driving on a road. Are we on the right road? Are we going the right speed? Should we turn here, or should we turn later? Should we stop here and pause and wait and then keep going again? And all of these things, all of these kinds of metaphors that you can think of when it comes to a journey. Because this is a journey for our community. All of these things are good questions. Where, when, how fast, etc. Until we stop and consider who is in the driver's seat. It's not me. It's not the parish council president, whoever that might be that here. It is not anyone whom we can see in our midst tonight. It is God himself. It's not up to us. We don't have to manufacture some kind of a plan. We don't have to look at these things and say, gosh, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we have this much, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. and act as if it's a burning building. We don't have to do those things. We don't have to come up with anything. There already is a plan. God has a plan for every human being. He has a plan for every individual, Christian and human being. He has a plan for every family. And he has a plan for every community. And so when we think of it in light of these terms, it is not up to us to say, what's my plan going to be, or what should our plan be? It is up to us to say, how can we discern what God's plan is for our community? And how do we align ourselves through prayer and fasting and everything else in the Orthodox Christian life? How can we align ourselves with this plan? And that goes for each of us collectively, and that goes for each of us individually as well. God has a plan. He has already done the heavy lifting. As Father said, it's a blessing to be then able to say, yes, I will give. I will contribute because God has blessed me, and I see how he is blessing us. And I am privileged to be able to say, I will give so that a new church can be built. That is a privilege. That is a once-in-a-lifetime privilege. That is an incredible blessing that we should not disregard, but embrace with open arms and open hearts. And I know that we are doing that already, and much more will come. We are now against all odds, as was mentioned earlier tonight, at a little over 3 million pledged on hand. I said a few years ago that our goal for phase 1 should be 4 million, just to secure a property. There will be more opportunities down the road, and let me say one more time, we have a very, very smart, capable, professional, fabulous parish lay leadership that is not going to let us get in over our heads, so please rest assured about that too. Because I know that we live in an area that has had horror stories with regards to properties and building projects. We're not going to let that happen. We have spaced this out in our projections and in our plan so that we do a little at a time. And so that we're not going to get ourselves in over our heads. There will be more opportunities down the road. There will be bequests that come in over the next few years. There will be pledges that come in. God willing, I'd love to be here to see the day when the last icon and the last pew goes into the new church. But for the time being, phase 1, our goal is 4 million. We have raised 3 million in 3 years. Can we raise 4 million in 4 years? So, again, to answer the question, yes, I am excited. And I want to thank you for being the people who you are. You are active, and you are engaged, and you are above all faithful. And we are doing this, again, for the glory of his name and for the good of his people. And specifically those people that are found at these 3 and change tables over here. These last 3 years, I want you to know, have been the greatest honor of my life. And I am blessed to be your priest. Thank you.